All right, welcome to our broadcast. A very good morning to each and every one of you. It's the morning after, the night before. How are you folks doing out there? How are you folks off this morning? Hope you hit the ground running. I hope you hit the ground running and you all ain't allowing nobody to hold you all back. Those of you who are joining us at home here in Guyana, where we're broadcasting live from the national capital city. Those of you who are joining us from the diaspora, y'all overseas, y'all foreign. You overseas, you're foreign. Good morning to all of you. Y'all know y'all are the real G. Y'all is the real G. Good morning and welcome to each and every one of you. Natasha, Lynette, Rena, Sheena. Good to have you, Erwin. Lynette, Natasha. Marlon Jacobs. Good to see you on the live this morning. Natasha Murphy, Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond, Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond is here with us. Sheena Hazel, Auntie Sandra is here, Sandra Hanover. We love mornings at our house. So many of you around the breakfast table. How many of you have breakfast with family? You have breakfast with your family, your spouse. You know, if you still got kids home, you know, you got a little children like me, whatever it is. We try, but it's a modern age, you know. Sometimes we're at the table, we got to make a deliberate effort. My little son on the tablet, he mother minding your business on the blue app. And I, of course, kind of edifying myself with some international journal. Marlon Jacobs, Clarissa Charlie Richmond, good to have all of you. Natasha Brister, good to see you on the live this morning. Sharon Griffith, we see you too. We see Erwin and Marcia, good to have you on the live. Avril and Grace. Yeah. She always minding your business. My wife, her mother, her sister, anything moves in Region 5, they know. Anything on the way to Region 5, because my wife, she's in town. Anything on the way to 5, they know. Right? You want to know something in 5, you talk to them. They know everything. Right? Everything. Fiona Casey, Mandy, Avril, Orwin. Who me? I just saw my wife coming in. And I thought she was talking to me. Then I realized she on the phone, right? You know, then she said she's talking to her sister. She said, in the second she said talking to my sister, yeah, girl. Bop. Information flows. Annette, Jilly G, innovative mastermind spooner. Naomi Druck is on the live this morning. Naomi, I see you start early this morning, girl. Early this morning. How y'all doing? Naomi Drucker, Lynette Zaffa, Dolly Anderson, Sabrina Blue, Angela Jordan, good to see you this morning. Bridget and Desta Archer, Mandy Cummins, good to have all of you on the live this morning. Beverly Fraser, Odessa Ward Dean. You know, sometimes I just imagine the lives you all have. You know, Dan Graves, and they put you with like big business and a big thriving business, living in Region 10 perhaps, Dan Graves, and this is like a name from 10, Region 10. You know, happily married and so on, living the life. That's what I pictured. You know, so to me, I just sit down and picture y'all. Thomasina Ben, sit down. You got your Lambo. Well, I got my Flambeau. You know, Beatrice Selby, I picture you in the US. That's how I see you. Palatial dwellings, you got your gallery and you put away things nice, like Margaret Nelson, you know. Julie J, picture you like in Texas, something like that, where everything bigger, you know. Your husband, I picture you like a exercise fanatic enthusiast, you know how? Keep him fit and so on. Right? I kind of picture, you know. Yes. Naomi says she ain't getting no cuss yet. Well, they gotta do this point because that's what they've been doing. And we gotta do what we gotta do. Jilly G, you know, they can either cuss me or they can say what you say it makes sense. We really didn't think ourselves, comport ourselves. The way we've been seeing, we'll comport ourselves. You know? Or you can come across, or both. Yes. Margaret Nelson, good morning. Margaret says the hard work pays off. Sometimes it does, you know. Sometimes it does. Shannon Wills, good to have you. Margaret, how are you doing? How's Rio? How are we, boy, Rio? Say good morning for us. You know, say good morning for us. Thank you so much. All the other folks are with us this morning. Why don't we begin there? 10 minutes of warming up is enough. Won't warm up by now? Well, can't eat your dinner. Parliament has reconvened. Please and thank you. Parliament has reconvened. And if you hit the ground running, if you hit the ground running, I want you all to know, as Parliament reconvened yesterday, we were open for business. We submitted several questions to the Clerk of the National Assembly to make its way onto the order paper. The public gonna see perhaps some bills coming before the House for Private Members Day and some motions. We got a lot of stuff set, fired up and ready to go. As if Parliament ready for us. That's the only thing. If Parliament is ready for us. So Parliament reconvened yesterday, and the folks there wondering, what's going on? They get caught on the back foot a little bit after the Lambo pull up. They get caught on the back foot because all the MPs were sworn in. No trouble there. Coming nice, come along now. Like the folks on the runway that bring in the plane. What do you call them? Flight attendants? I don't know. Plane attendants? I don't know. Whatever it is. They're on the outside with the two incandescent sticks, and they're bringing in the thing. After you come in and you park at gate 1 and you step off now, your Louis Vuitton, your Versace, your Versace, whatever it is. There's no Hilfiger boss. No, it's different thing. All right? Where was the fancy watch people? Same people. You ain't no Casio. No. Casio gone. Timex? No. Timex too. Right? I told you all last night I was quite surprised. Y'all want to know what I was quite surprised about? Refer to last evening's program. I ain't born twice. Well, last year I hear that. I remember people asked you to go for something when we were younger. Repeat yourself. I ain't born twice. We're really backward. Not much has changed. Naomi and Chanel, Gail and Abida, Linda Webster, not much has changed. All right? So this vote for the opposition has been delayed. Naomi says the Apple Watch for me. Well, I was a small man in the business, I got started the Apple Watch. I was a small man in the business, I got started. My God. O'Neill and Jilly G, Diane, and I had to put the Apple Watch and lay away. Flambo went to told Caro for a couple of weeks. Well, my God, Shanette and Marlon, all the folks. I was made to understand that, from credible sources that overtures were made yesterday to Mansour privately. Not on the floor of the National Assembly. No. Privately. Naomi said she loved my body. She said you are my spirit animal, apparently. As animal now, As animal now. I was an MP yesterday, as animal today. I understand you, Naomi. I understand you. I feel you. All right? Don't forget where I was. What did the script say? What did Q? So I was made to understand that very privately yesterday on the sidelines, not on the floor, as it should have been done. Overtures were made to the speaker as to when this election of the leader of the opposition will be called. And I heard the speaker didn't countenance those who approached him, and apparently he just, as soon as his sentence was finished, he just kept walking, apparently. I would say that's very rude of the speaker if that is true. He didn't respond. He just nodded, acknowledgement, and I've received your question. That'd be very rude of the speaker if he does that. Very rude. So I don't know. And if you follow the last parliament, you don't even know they talk about robustitude and all of that. They're not quick to sit and to engage in any meaningful debate and decorum and so on. Kwame was his usual self yesterday. You would think with a 36-seat majority, they're coming in with some kind of decorum. Same old regular self. Same old regular self yesterday. So who knows? I don't know. Right? And remember, Parliament regulates its own business. Right? Parliament is higher than the court, you know. As a matter of fact, Parliament is a court of its own. Right? So the court, I don't know how many of you know this, but the court does not interfere with Parliament too much at all. Has to be something that it's very, very egregious for the court to step in. Yeah, it has to be very bigly egregious for the court to step in. So I don't know. I don't see how the kindness by the court has said, our man should be sworn in. You know. I believe in politics. In politics, you got some scope for flamboyance. I like my little flair every now and again myself. You know? I like my little flair every now and again. Right? But it can't be the only thing. You know? After you come in, after you out the flambeau, and you stop the Lambo, and you come inside, what next? And you see, that is how Will was caught lapsing yesterday. I am almost certain, yesterday being the opening of Parliament, went and submit one question, one motion. And I saw in a piece of notation, they're saying they're ready to engage, and they forwarded a letter also to the Speaker. And they said they're ready to play a decisive role in shaping the 13th Parliament. And they shown day one, you had a motion in. Right? And they should have had a motion on the very subject matter. Had they been forward thinking, they would have been able to say, we submitted a motion to the National Assembly on the swearing in of the leader of the opposition. Had they come prepared for the business of the House? And it doesn't matter what other frills and frandangles, pomp and ceremony, what other fireworks. If you're not doing the business of the House in all of that, if you're not bringing your flair and your sartorial splendor and driving the business of the House, you ain't going no place. You see? So that letter should have had a motion in yesterday. I mean, they could still do it. Right? But it would have showed they were nimble on their feet. They came prepared for the business of the House. But in fact that nobody stood. You see, these are the tools available to you. You got the standing order, which is the weapon of choice. You say to the Speaker, on standing order, 41, A, B, C, whatever it is, 40, 39, whatever it is. I'm raising a point of order. And when the Speaker do his own gymnastics, as he surely would have, because you know, Mansour is a gymnast. He has come with some rulings. You gotta be a gymnast. So after he does his backflips and his and he lands, and whether he sticks it or not, right? He would have carried, because he got to push the PUP agenda. in the National Assembly. He's not his own man. So when he does that now, you say, all right, you think you got us here? Plan B, we don't got a letter. And after he think is the letter alone, C now. Plan C, we got a motion in. Right? And you probably got some questions too to Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. You got some questions. So now when you come to the media, right? You like Duncan with the flambeau. You use your Lambo as the backdrop. And the media actually said, look, we raised several standing orders and the point of order and so on the floor. We've also submitted a letter. In addition to that, we've submitted a number of questions today to the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. And in addition to that, we have also submitted a motion for this matter to make the order paper for the next sitting of the National Assembly and to be debated in the House. And in addition to that, all I heard yesterday was, it's so sad. It's so sad what has happened here. Victimhood. You revert to that. It is so sad. It is so sad. It is so sad. I tell you, I look back and I just watch it on. So look on the show we can show them. Right. They had some weapons in the arsenal. And I see some people on the live last night vex. Duncan, why you don't shut up? Duncan, this, we in power now. Yeah, that's ship the right charge of Paul Drive. We in charge now. Of what? You know, in politics, sadly, in this country, you ain't got no room for second place. You know, you ain't in power, you're out of power. Right? You ain't in power, you're out of power. So, you abuse me and cuss me all you want. But when we come to the National Assembly, we got to do the business. We got to do the business of the National Assembly. You can't bluff it. You can't bluff it. Coming soon, coming never, coming whenever. You can't bluff it. And that's how you know when you stand on the floor of the National Assembly. Then is when you make your mark. Then is when you make your mark. You know? But let me leave it there. I don't want to be unfair to my parliamentary colleagues in the parliamentary opposition. I still got to work with them. I'm prepared to work with them. I'm prepared to work with them. But how do you work with people who think they know everything? And you can't teach them nothing. You see, one of the things Candy and Jilly G and Natasha and Gail and all the beautiful folks around us this morning, I've learned in this life is to be open. To be open. And that is why a lot of people and I get along. Marlon, right? That's why I am Naomi's animal. That's why I become Naomi's animal now. I should pet. Let me say I should animal. I should spirit animal. Right? Just pat my head and say I should pet. Because I like to work around people's faults. And look at the strengths. You see, I look for the commonality. That's why all my life, unlike Jennifer Ali, with her photographs, I have had Hindu friends, and their religion never affected me. I have found some profound tenets in the Hindu faith, as well as in the Muslim tradition, some profound aspects of it that can apply to my life. You know? That's why I've been a lover of all kinds of women. I mean, all kinds of music. All kinds of music. Right? I love all genres of music. I mightn't buy all, but I can appreciate it. Thank you, Apple Music. I can appreciate it. Of all cultures, as Eleanor Roosevelt, a former First Lady of the US, says, there isn't a culture from which we cannot learn. There isn't a civilization. And I'm happy that I was brought up with an open mind. Right? With an open mind. Right? I've been a lover of all kinds of Spanish. I mean books. I don't know. I was sleeping this morning. You know, Spanish girls now. All kinds of books. I never limit myself to novels or to self-help or to biographies or any dance floor. You put me on, Tommy, Charles and Everett, Troy. Any dance floor you put me on, I can mambo. I know my 3 steps. I know my dance hall. You see? I know the lambada. And y'all know, you gotta be real bad to know the lambada. The forbidden dance. Right? I know my 3-step tango. I know my quick step. You see, in politics, you have to have a range. When you see I come off social media and I go in that dome, I got my iPad in my hand. That's my whole... I'm dangerous, you know. When I step to the floor of the National Assembly, I mean business. When I go into a meeting, I am prepared. I ain't happening here. What's this room here? You gotta go watch the ceiling and say the day before. You gotta go admire the... That's your recce. Admire the curtain and the architect. Who built this place here, man? Right? After the meeting, you gotta have your fun moment. Okay, let's take a selfie with RoboCop or whoever it is. Right? You gotta have your fun moment someplace else. But when you step into that meeting, you fix your crater. Back in the days, as we hope we used to call wigs. You fix your thing. Bought and paid for it, you own. You got the receipt. You mean business. You see? And our MPs better come up to speed and know now nobody hold your hand and walking through this. You gotta put in the work. You may gotta miss a couple of shows and go in the library of the National Assembly and read Erskine and May. You know, read up on some of what transpired before in the National Assembly. Oh, I thought y'all think we're wasting time. And y'all gonna bring this better representation. Day one. Y'all have been found wanting. I want y'all know. You ain't got to day 2 with the media running to see what care you coming in all there, no? Right? My God, I want to work with my colleagues in the parliamentary opposition. You know, I want to work with them. They got some beautiful folks. Some beautiful folks. I saw a young lady yesterday looking like a Spanish. You know, I say, moving on, folks. So the speaker come back. Mansour is in. Tabitha Cerebral Halley, she was nominated as deputy speaker, didn't make it. What was the point of that? We weren't consulted. What was the point? You don't have the numbers. Why are you wasting the time in the assembly? What was that about? I don't know. As I said, I just watch it on. Right? Naomi? Rina! I was just watching on. I don't know what's happening. Right? So, our parliamentary colleagues, they got to bring themselves up to scratch. Just like nursing and doctrine, right? Has a language. Parliament has a language and its conventions and so on. And you got to understand it and how to dance between all of that to achieve your purpose. You know, pumping your fists and so on. It's only so far and carry you. And I hope they wake up quick, because Parliament gonna be out for another couple of months, right? Gonna be out for another couple of months, and they ought to use it wisely. Right? You gotta balance your outings and your outreaches and your engagement publicly and so on with sitting down and actually doing some useful reading and so on. I don't know who they're gonna appoint as the chief whip, but they looked in yesterday. Right? They looked in. Whoever is the person they're gonna appoint as the parliamentary opposition chief whip, they looked in. Ganesh Maipal is our APNU's whip. Whoever they got in mind, I don't know. But yesterday, I don't know. Right? I happy the comedy Lambo, because that was like a distraction, you know, from the performance in the house. But maybe that was the point of it. Maybe. Moving on though, moving on. We got a couple other things. I don't want to detain y'all here longer. Only half hour. That being said, the speaker is in. Deputy Speaker is Dr. Mahadio. Y'all remember Mr. Dildo? You remember Mr. Dildo from the last parliament? He's not the Deputy Speaker. I remember what Annette said in the wake of that presentation in National Assembly, when the man talked about the dildo and whatever it was. Annette said, what a man said, left a bad taste in my mouth. I miss Annette, I miss Chris, you know. Yeah. I miss Ronald. All right? Miss about the folks too. And I said left a bad taste in my mouth. Dr. Dildo, he's now the Deputy Speaker. I happy for all them, man. Enjoy it, Dr. Dildo. Enjoy your big money, your big vehicle, you know, the Land Cruiser, the Lambo. I have my little Flambeau. You know, we ain't got with money. With my little Flambeau, following it, growing kitty cat. Going kitty cat. But I want to work with our brothers there. The 13th Parliament commenced yesterday, folks. The first sitting. Mansour was re-elected. Dr. Vishwa Mahadio, he was elected Deputy Speaker. Right? Deputy Speaker yesterday. And the election of the leader of the opposition didn't happen. MPs took the oath of office. Election of Deputy Speaker did not happen. Right? It's now for the Speaker to come back, have a meeting. I don't know if Parliament has to be in session. I don't think so. I don't think Parliament has to be in session. But the Speaker can call a meeting of the members of the opposition. And at that meeting, they can elect the leader of the opposition. It's a simple exercise. Simple show of hands. All in favor? Say aye. You know, I can decide my conscience by then. What we doing? Based on the performance yesterday, it's a tough call. But the government says that they got the agenda set and ready. The agenda set and ready. Waveney Candy and Fidel. Rosie Rose. Carlton. They said they're ready. All right. The Attorney General said he didn't want to reveal too much because it might prejudice. You didn't want to say which coming first and second. That might prejudice the importance, you see. He's another one. But he did go on to say it's much of a continuation of the last tenure. That's what he said. Robust legislative agenda for the 13th Parliament. He said this includes a new evidence and trust bill, medical and data laws, and a commercial registry act, banking reform, and port authority legislation coming as well. They said they intend to modernize Guyana's legal framework and continue to deliver on their manifesto commitments. I was listening to the presumptive leader of the opposition. Is that an office? Presumptive leader of the opposition? All right. When he was asked about their agenda, he said, you see what they did to me today? It was so sad. He said, we go focus on education. That's one of the things we want to focus on. He said, I know if you see my Facebook page, but this morning, 68 children in a classroom, eh? And look what they do to me in the National Assembly today. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. Right? Folks, we got a slew of things we're looking at. From Amerindian rights, housing, security, health. As I said, we probably submitted 30, 40 documents yesterday. Questions to ministers, motions for the National Assembly, bills we want to see on the private members' day, making the audit paper. About 40 to 50 documents of this nature. Right? I submitted questions on the security sector. I want to get to the bottom of what transpired with this bombing. And all this government thing they could pull wool over our eyes. Right? I submitted questions on the procurement of this. I saw $150 million spy equipment. Spy equipment that the government buying. I want to know what's happening with that. A whole host of questions. Questions for the housing sector. And each of the persons we have appointed as shadows have done the same. Each of them have done the same. So we got a whole, what do you call it? A binder full. You remember Mitt Romney? This is what? 2008? A binder full of documents submitted to the National Assembly. And I think we forwarded to the press as well, which we're asking substantive questions, bringing substantive motions to the National Assembly. Right? Bringing substantive bills. We want to see amendments to legislation, current legislation that we want to see unveiled, that we want to interrogate, we want to see come to fruition. Yeah. The government has laid out theirs. Right? Government has laid out theirs. I saw Saiku in an interview said he wants to scrutinize public expenditure and demand value for money. Asserting that small and a small but active opposition could make a significant difference. You see, when you know what you're doing, size doesn't matter. I don't mind Naomi living in Texas or wherever. Everything is big in Texas. But size doesn't matter if you know what you're doing. Y'all feeling it this morning? It don't matter if you know what you're doing. Size don't matter. And yesterday, interestingly, I saw Ali wading into parliamentary issues. He should have come to Parliament. Open the first sitting. You know, it's the Parliament when the President is there. Whatever is the matter with that? When the President is present in the National Assembly, it's the sitting of the Parliament. And when he's absent, it is sitting in the National Assembly. We got more work to do. I was cutting my hair yesterday in the city, and I heard some boys, like they suddenly catch it. What's the difference with Parliament and the National Assembly? You know, because Nazima Raghaber was giving commentary about an hour or two before Parliament began, and I told her afterwards how engaged the folks were, and that she should continue that, because we assume people know, but a lot of people now waking up. You know, now waking up. And so I was telling her, continue the good work. Yeah, and like this light bulb went on in this guy, mature guy, but we know everything. You have to stay open. You got to stay open-minded. Right? He said, what do you mean Parliament and National Assembly? What's the difference? The difference is the President. When he show up in Lambo, well, he ain't Lambo, he's bar vehicle. He's bar vehicles. When he showed me the Lambo, the Flambeau, whatever it is, it's the Parliament sitting. And then when he's not there, it's the National Assembly. So it's the first sitting of the National Assembly for the 13th Parliament. The whole period, the whole tenure. 13th Parliament. The first sitting of the National Assembly. The first sitting. Now, that being said, look, while we talk about extradition and gold smuggling and all these different things, I'll be gone in about 5 minutes, right? I don't want us to forget that Irfan Ali admitted that he was in the WhatsApp messages handling taxation issues on behalf of GRA and how much should be paid for the Lambo. And I saw an important question being raised in today's press. A letter to the editor somewhere, I think it was, that asked the question, where are the others? I think it's the Ghana Human Rights Association asking the question, where are the others who would have facilitated what is alleged? And you had a whole president. I won't forget that. I won't pretend I didn't hear it or saw or read. So I give OP some feedback. I give Officer the President some feedback. They're part of the problem too, as you know. And don't let's stop there. If the President was in a WhatsApp conversation with Asruddin Mohammed, as is alleged, on how much he should pay in taxes on his Lambo, who else were not privy to WhatsApp conversation? You all remember the girl that Dharmalal was allegedly involved with? She had said, she had alleged as well, that she had reached out to Ali via WhatsApp. You all remember that? Huh? Or he had reached out to her, some allegation of that sort. Am I making things up? You all remember that scandal? This is a government by scandals. It's not government by agenda. It's government by it's a scandal agenda. She had alleged, before you all say she take Apple Watch and iPhone and so on, conduct the story, she had alleged reaching out to Arfan via WhatsApp. And now here you have the presumptive, or perhaps never to be, leader of the opposition. He was in the WhatsApp too. He said so. He said Ali was the one who told me, I got this thing covered. You don't worry nothing. I use your vehicle for election, the bulletproof vehicle, the Raptor and what have you and so on. I got this. You don't worry. I remember the 100 million you're giving for the campaign and so on. You don't worry. I got this. So I don't want to absolve them, because lots of Guyanese now waking up and they realize just a few short years we're all best friends. I saw people abusing young sheriff. Oh, you're getting contract. Look, sheriff doing this and then billing that. But this was a couple years ago. And if things didn't go south, it would have been y'all right now. It would have been y'all right now. All of us got our challenges, eh? All of us got our challenges. All of us, Just to point it out. Just to point out that Irfan was in the WhatsApp messages and he admitted. But he said that Asruddin didn't give him the correct, invoice. You remember that? He said it was a fake invoice, it was a fraudulent invoice. That's what he said. And now he's saying about his friend Asruddin, or his former friend, I don't know on which day what it is. We know they were tight. They're tight bad. He now says there's sufficient evidence to process the U.S. extradition requests. Right? And I've heard and seen in the letter columns again today, people are saying, if Irfan, you got all this evidence and so on, it means some of the things that were committed were illegal here that you have evidence for. Why don't you prosecute him here as well? Not just about flying him out, but I think part of this, they have said, if y'all don't prosecute us, me and Jack Dio and whoever else, we hand you over. Right? But for cooperating, we must not be pursued. Right? Well, let us see what the blue factory canary got. Let us see what the blue factory canary has. Okay? Okar, let us see. Folks, we could go further, but if we go further, I believe for another very important assignment that I have. Very important assignment that I have. But see, these are some of the things they want to share with you this morning. And a number of other things are happening. As I said, a number of other things are happening. As I said, the WIN executives have written, and MPs wrote to the Speaker concerning the meeting to get the election of the leader of the opposition off the ground. They have written to the Speaker on that. All right, so we're watching to see where that goes. If there's a formal response, I know that the Minister of Home Affairs, one of the ministries that I shadow, she has some comments in the public domain that are circulating as regards the scandal happening in the Ghana police force concerning senior officers, right, preying on junior ranks. And she is warned that consent cannot exist where power differentials create coercion. Once you're in a position of power, you can't say the junior staff and I consented. We big people. We's big people. It's the private life. That's what she's getting at there. Among other issues, the mid-year financial report is out. We got to interrogate that. I'm going to look at it tonight with you all. The mid-year financial report for the country is out. You will see some reporting on that, on different media houses and so on. I think Dem Waves and Big Uncle Gordon, they do fair and balanced coverage. Sabbath News as well. But we're going to put out some stuff later on. In addition to that, the Auditor General report, you all remember it was tabled recently. It is out officially too. Of course, Bellevue Pump Station coming for lashing. We can talk about that. You need a whole show just to deal with that. The Auditor General report, it is out. Right? Oil prices are sluggish. People are watching that, causing a lot of concern. Right? Gold output seems to be up. It suffered for the past couple of years badly. Right? They never hit our high production numbers, but gold seems to be surging. Right? The gold miners are calling for increase or tougher enforcement on gold smuggling. Pim. On gold smuggling. Right? I said oil prices doing some fancy thing on the world market, but they're telling us the oil wealth fund locally now stands at $3.6 billion US dollars. The natural resource fund, $3.6 billion US dollars. That's what they're telling me. They can haul out just now. You hold on. They're coming for supplemental just now. You hold on. So those are a couple of other things we wanted to share with you, but time is running against us. right? We see miners are being murdered, fishermen. That's another concern we wanted to raise with you this morning. You know, this homeland security sector, this home affairs sector, taking a beating. We got to take that in hand, right? So I'm shadowing housing and home affairs, and I can hold them to task. I can take them to task. We're seeing road accidents. Just yesterday at Karen Linden, 2 men died when a motorcycle collided with a car. You know, our thoughts and prayers with those families. We saw a supermarket robbed yesterday, right? Yilong, Chinese supermarket on the East Coast was robbed yesterday. You see, the home affairs sector. Elderly woman, the cocaine granny, jailed for narcotics possession. All of that. Right? And the fire service says they are promoting an integrated fire management. All of those things we want to cover. Don't blink for a minute and you miss something important in this country. You know, we're being told as well, finally, Venezuelan fishermen have carried out a armed home invasion. They stormed the home of a woman, a place called New Hope on the East Bank. They robbed her using what police believe to be a toy gun. Venezuelan fishermen, that's the report. That's the report. Venezuelan fishermen carried out an armed home invasion on the East Bank. A couple of the other things we want to share with you folks this morning. That being said, folks, we're going to leave it there until we see you guys back on the next broadcast. While you're here, close to 1,800 of you in our morning broadcast, share the live for us so that more people get this valid and credible information. And we're going to see you guys back on the next one. Thanks for joining us, Naomi and Chanel and Deborah and Julie G and Candy, the lean energy. Good to see you on the live again, Candy, joining us from the quarantine this morning. If she is home here in Guyana, she might be in Trinidad or someplace else. Wayne and Waveney, Mandy and Candy. Good to see Gwen Anderson on the live too. We're going to leave it there, folks. We're going to see you guys back on the next one. Stay safe. Stay safe. We're going to see you guys back on the next podcast. They tell me I need to turn down this one when we go off so it doesn't conflict. See you.